All right, welcome to episode number 19. This is the West Coast Sports Junkies. We're going to start tonight's episode off right away. Shots owed, so I'll do my first one. And,
what do you owe that shot for, Chris?
Here we go.
Hold on, let me take it first. So cheers.
Something to do with that hat, I think.
Yeah, it does. It's got to do with Chris's defeat, the sad defeat against a very shitty English team. Really should have played a lot better, but I mean, they had some chances. Chris defended. Chris started getting on a roll at the end of the game, but either which way, it is what it is. They lost. That's my first shot. I also have to do 4 shots in a row because the Avalanche lost and they didn't push game 7. It happens, right? Like it happens. So I also gave Ty some advice today to bet on the over and German win today, and it was a 1-0 game for France. So apologize for that. Kind of thought that was going to be the big game in the group of death, but it wasn't. Anyways, it is a beautiful night. We are recording. And yeah, I did my first shot, and now I think it's time to go into the first beer. And the first beer is a limited release. It is from Copper Brewing from Kelowna, brewed in Kelowna, BC. It's the Vanilla Coffee Porter. Genuinely good beer, it says, brewed in Kelowna, BC. This is my trip around the province beer. So let's see what this bad boy tastes like. So cheers.
All right.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
Wow, it's like a
It's like a cold brew, almost like a cold brew.
Woo.
With alcohol.
Woo. That's a good.
Not bad.
Yeah, I think I can only drink one of these. Like these specialty type of beers is not. I'm not a huge fan of them, but I do like this can. It's got a Bernese Mountain Dog on there. It's just like my sister's old dog Corbin. Hey.
Yeah, it looks exactly like Corbin. Shout out to Chooch.
Yeah, I will. And yeah, shout out to Chooch and Son. And yeah, but this beer is good, like for sure. You can taste
it. Could be
coffee.
Could be like a dessert beer or something.
A really, really dark beer. Yeah.
Oh, let's see that. Show us that, Mike.
Oh, you can tell this is a really, really like dark beer.
Yeah, it blends in with your background, man.
It does. I know.
While we have you on the screen, what in the hell are you wearing, by the way?
Big news today, boys. Big news.
What's that?
CFL schedule released. Go Lions, go.
I didn't think you were into the CFL.
Oh, I'm into the CFL. Any kind of football.
He's the biggest fan.
I am even the coach of the U8 football team, flag football. Okay. And I hope we get the team out to a game. I think the first Lions game is August 5th. We're playing the Elks on the 7th, I think it is. I'm going to bring my elk calls to the stadium. It's going to be rocking, boys.
Oh, that's a good one.
Good stuff.
Good stuff. Now that we've gotten into that, let's get into our show. So we've got a couple things to go over tonight. We got that big UFC fight night. We're going to go over that. We're going to go over the Euro Cup, of course. Probably the most important segment, considering the worldwide news and the worldwide eyes that are on it. Yeah, they got the Copa Americas happening right now too. I watched one of those games, but that cardiac arresting with Christian Eriksen, so scary. We'll get into that. We got the playoffs. I owe 4 shots of tequila. The notes say that's not going to be tequila today. It's going to be, Grey Goose celebrating France's 1-0 victory today. I hate that fucking team, but whatever. They got her done. And then we'll talk a little bit about the majors. Oh, so Mr. Mike.
Yo.
It's time. What do we got for the UFC, buddy?
Well, the UFC, it was a lot of fun. First of all, we actually got out to Town Hall in South Surrey here. and we got to watch live. All of us were there except for Dirty Dan. He had his girlfriend's birthday party. They were all together, but we had a table of 6, and the place was, well, it's the busiest I've ever been out to a place since this whole COVID things happened. And it was a lot of fun. Had some good food, had some drinks. We got there basically right when the main card started, and we started off the night with my boy there, Craig, pulling up the big upset victory, just how I called it, right? Did I not say the grappling's going to be the difference? First round, first couple of minutes, boom, snaps the guy's arm. Well, it looked like it was broken, but actually wasn't broken. It was just dislocated. But he gets the first victory. Then we had Damian Maya, and just like I called it, old dude. Although he actually put up a better fight than I thought he was going to put up. Didn't you guys think so? Went the distance, and he lost the decision, but I was surprised he even went the distance, and I was surprised he was actually, able to look like he could have even won that fight had he just pressed a little bit harder. What do you think, Ty?
Yeah, it was definitely a lot closer than I thought it would be. But speaking of Maya, actually, you know what? We'll get into it later about Diaz, but no, you're totally right. I think he could have pressed a little more and maybe won that fight as well.
Yeah, I was shocked about that, but still.
At the same time, I think it's time for him to retire.
Yeah, true. And then we had Nate Diaz, representing the 209, come out, and he's fighting the tough boy there, Leon Edwards. And that's sort of how I thought it was going to go. I knew he was going to take a beating, and he did. He was cut on the back of the head, the side of the head, he had blood gushing everywhere. It took him a while to, and then even in the first round, you saw those leg kicks that Leon Edwards was landing on Diaz. You could tell that he barely stand on his leg. I was actually shocked that it went the distance because of those leg kicks. I thought he was going to be done. It was just that, I am seeing actually more and more in the UFC, the fighters utilizing those leg kicks quite a bit now and using them to their advantage and really kicking that lead leg. So the person can't stand on it or whatever. And I've seen a few guys just like give up because of it. But so Nate Diaz came out, and we knew he was going to be able to take a beating. He was, was chirping the whole time, in his face. And Leon Edwards played the game smart. I was surprised he was banging with him the whole time, wasn't trying to take him down and do his ground and pound. He was sitting in the middle, swinging with him. And then round 5, a little late, Diaz stings him. And I thought it was over. I was on my seat, on my chair, I think, in the pub, screaming like, "Go!" And Diaz is just sitting there pointing at him and laughing. I'm like, "Hit him again! Hit him again! What are you doing, man?" Like the guy was done, and he just let him live. Oh man,
I couldn't believe that. Why are you not hitting him? I was yelling in the bar.
I know. It's the showboating. That's what I don't like that. But what do you think of that fight, Tyler? Yeah,
but no, it played out just like we said, especially what you said. And he hung in there as best he could. He's a tough guy. I figured he would hang in there. Those leg kicks really did affect him. Couldn't put any weight on that lead leg, but no, he looked great in that 5th round. The signature Diaz comeback, same thing. I thought he got him, but just pressure him, man. Like, why? You can't change the fighters. You can't change who they are. And Diaz is like, he's thinking in the moment, he's like, "Oh, I got you, but rush him, finish the fight, or potentially finish the fight."
And he had him wobbled on his feet, and he did not want any more of that. Like he stunned him with the Stockton slap. Slapped him straight up the gut with a number 2 and right on the chin, man. And it had him wobbled, and he just needed to put that pressure on him right there. He said, touch him one more time, it would have been done with. But no, he sat there and pointed at him. And
that fight summed up for you because you're big Diaz fans. But that fight, in a nutshell, was a Diaz. Tough as nails, stand in there the whole fight, and just a little too cocky. Usually a little too late.
Way too cocky.
Cardio is great, but
let me ask you this: Diaz is not ranked in the welterweight division. Leon Edwards is ranked number 3. Where would you put Diaz? Is he a top 10?
I'd put him in the top 10 just based on his toughness alone.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah. No, I wouldn't put him in the top 10. I wouldn't.
Really?
He's exciting. He's good. He's a draw. He's a big ticket. But the thing is, if it's not a 5-round fight, you're not gonna. He's got to win the 3-round fights too, because they're not going to be all main events for him. Well, they might be going forward. I don't know, because I don't know how he was able to negotiate this one. But I can't. You got to be able to beat them, in the early rounds too. I think most fights in the UFC are 3 rounds, not 5.
Yeah, no, and he is getting older. Obviously, that's not helping his case going forward. But it was a typical Diaz fight. He stood in there, took a lot of shots, almost finished him. But life as a Diaz fan for you, hey?
Yeah, exactly. Especially when every time I put money on the damn guy. But
and you would have been 3 for 3 if you didn't go with your heart.
That's true. That is true.
You bet with your head. Okay.
Not always.
Not with your other one.
Where do you put Leon Edwards? Does he get a title shot?
He should.
I know that up next is Colby Covington. He's up next.
Covington and Usman.
So would you put? I guess you'd have to put. He's number 3. He just beat Diaz. He's got to be next in line.
If he wants to wait, he should have a title shot. The guy's won 10 fights in a row, and he's beat some names. But I saw Usman did an interview saying he doesn't think he's done enough to earn a title shot, which I thought was bullshit. I definitely think he should be next in line after that Covington Usman fight.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he looked really good as he has every fight I've seen him in. You know what I mean? So
can I ask you guys a question?
Yep.
Go ahead.
Do I have to do 4 shots in a row, or can I do one now and then maybe in a few minutes another one?
Do one now, or we're talking. Well, we're gonna do a cheers to the new champ, the co-main event. We had Brandon Moreno upset. Well, I picked Figueroa as well, but he came in as an underdog too, and he upset. Had a lot of people probably surprised about this one. He looked so good, man.
Oh,
he came in flying fists, like just swinging. He was ready to fight. That guy deserved that victory, and he put him away.
He was all over him.
He
got him down. I can't believe how he got out of that and climbed over him like a spider, like Spider-Man. It was crazy. That kid's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he was. He's been an underdog his whole life. He was the last pick in that tough season 24 series. I got the stats here somewhere. What the heck did I do with them?
You know what's cool about that too is he's the first Mexican-born UFC champion ever.
Really?
Yeah, that is pretty crazy because Mexico has some tough fighters and have it. So
that's huge.
He's not going to be the last.
Again? Do I have to fact check again, Tyler?
Please do.
He's right.
American-born. Jesus, man. What is wrong with you?
That's just as good as saying Matt Serra's Italian.
Yeah, that's right. I had to continue. I thought I was going to save myself. Okay, fine.
You see the emotion he had in the ring, man? I was crying again.
You know what?
UFC's got me in tears.
No, he was so happy. He was just here. This one's for you, buddy. Good job.
Cheers to Brandon Moreno. Yeah, and he lost that split decision draw 6 months ago, and he said he started training immediately for this fight, immediately again. And he said he's never worked so damn hard in his life. That's the thing about these fights. You can't measure a guy's heart. You know what I mean? And it's tough to pick him when there's a guy like that's just got that drive to be great and that determination, and he's got it. Where he goes from here, I mean, that's a tough division. It's a super stacked division.
100%. But at the same time, you never know sometimes in that flyweight division with those, they're all so closely matched. They're wizards on the ground with their submission skills and everything. Even though the odds will show it, a lot of times those fights are a lot closer than the odds show. And
did you see that Henry Ceredo was in the crowd?
Yep.
He's obviously the one that undefeated wrestling gold medal. And
sure.
He retired because he wants to get paid. And now he's got I'd love to see these two fight. That'd just
no kidding. Personal. I'd love for him to come back.
Yeah. That'd be a good one. But yeah, and then the main event we had Marvin Vettori versus your boy
Adesanya.
Adesanya. And Adesanya looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
It did not go the way I thought it was going to go. I thought that the Italian dream was going to be able to take him down, do some ground and pound, hold him down. He did that in the first fight.
He did early. He did
Really?
early, and
That's true. But
He
Izzy
looked
just
better in the first
dominated
few
on
rounds.
him.
Yeah.
It was after that, it wasn't even close. But
yeah, totally agree. He took over, especially in the third to the championship rounds. You
yeah,
could just-
totally.
It was his fight.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I was actually reading that Izzy, I mean, everyone's still looking back at his last fight where he moved up a weight class, got smashed. This guy is going to walk through this division. I don't see, and like, this is his division where he needs to be at. He doesn't need to go jump around, different weight classes. But I think, just based on, this fight coming back down, defending his title in his actual weight class, I don't really see anyone that can challenge him right now.
Yeah, and he called out Robert Whitaker after the fight.
Yeah.
Who is a
His
former
post-fight
champ.
interview was pretty awesome. He was fired up for sure. I guess he's probably gotten some bad, I don't know, comments or whatever.
Oh yeah, he had a
coming off
lot
the
of people
loss.
talking after that loss.
A lot of people were
Rivalries.
not picking him in this fight because he's coming off a loss. And what does that do to you mentally and all that
Yeah.
stuff, right? So,
Mhm.
but I think he did definitely show that he's the king in the mountain in the middleweight division for sure.
One thing I saw today, and I'm pretty sure I'm stealing Ty's thunder because he was jumping about Damian Maya and Diaz. But Ty, if you don't mind, Damian Maya has called out Nate Diaz, for a retirement match. Thank God.
Oh God.
Dana White, please make it, because both these guys someone needs to retire. But
Please don't make that. Please don't make that.
at least one last, put it on the first fight of the whatever card, and let's get it done over with. So I mean, Damian Maya, at least Nate Diaz, I think he could have like an action fight, like maybe a trilogy with Conor McGregor. I mean, I think Conor McGregor would bring out the old Nate Diaz, but Damian Maya, come on, like the guy's falling asleep. He should be in an old age home. So give him the fight. Let him get knocked out. Actually be a good booster for Nate Diaz, because I think he would wipe the floor. You want a 3-round fight for Nate Diaz? A perfect 3-round? Damian Maya.
I think Nate Diaz has some options though right now. Like what's next for Nate Diaz? I don't think it's going to be. I don't think he's going to pick Damian Maya's retirement fight.
No,
he's going to
he
want
can
to
fight whoever he wants. He'll
Look
still
at the
get
guys
those
he's
names.
calling
He'll still
out.
get
He's
those
calling
cards.
out top contenders. He wants to fight. I think it's either going to be a run back the trilogy bout with Connor, or a rematch. They're going to run back the Masvidal fight. That's the only two I can
Connor's
see.
already fighting though in July.
Yeah, so if Connor wins that fight, he's the champ, right?
No, it's not a title fight. I don't think.
It's not. Who's the champ of that weight? I think no, he's not the champ. So the winner of that fight gets to fight for the champ. That's already been called out. And that's what's his name? He won last UFC. The Brazilian. He was crying in the ring too. What the hell's his name?
I'm drawing a
Anyway,
blank. You guys
fact check
confuse me.
that. We'll have to fact check that.
Yeah.
There's too many
So
weight
anyways-
classes, too many champions.
Yeah. Yeah, he can fight probably anyone that he wants to right now, and I don't think Damian Maya can. I don't think he can call it whoever the hell he wants. But
Oliveira.
there you go. Yeah, Oliveira. So he's the champ, and then the winner of the Poirier McGregor fight is fighting him gets the next title shot against Oliveira.
Yeah.
So if Conor wins that fight, he's going to be doing that. If you lose that fight, then I can see a Nate Diaz trilogy bout.
Real quick before we get out of this segment, did you see who called out Nate Diaz after the fight? Did you guys see? No.
No. Who?
Jake Paul.
No.
Oh, really?
Oh,
God.
fuck off. Honestly, man. Like,
So that wouldn't be surprising me because he would make a lot more money fighting Jake Paul Diaz than another UFC fight. But I don't know how many deals he has left on his UFC contract. But
Yeah.
He's-
There's lots of stars at that event too. Did you see Austin Matthews roll in with Justin Bieber?
I did.
No wonder why the Leafs lost. He had a hot date.
Justin Bieber?
Did
Yeah.
Did you guys see if they made it out of the first round of the fight?
Who?
Austin Matthews. It went right over your head.
Yeah.
Playoffs.
Oh.
Didn't. No, they didn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, the next pay-per-view is Conor McGregor, but we have a couple fight nights in the next few weeks. We'll probably get into those next week. And awesome UFC. It was a fun night.
Yeah, it should be good. Coming up. Lots of sports. Loving it.
They've slain the dragon! It's a wonderful day for an exorcism. Mario Mandzukic pounced, and England are hot! Touchdown Seahawks!
All right. Yeah, that was some good fights, but you know what's even better than fights? You know, it's when every 4 years you get a tournament like the Euro Cup, and we had to wait 5. Last one was the 2016 because of stupid COVID. Started off really good, really well. I think tweet of the day has to go to Irfan Ghaffar with that. What did it say, Ty? Bring it up and then read it when you find it. Oh, it made me laugh so hard. Italy was the first game. They dominated. It's a totally different Italian team. It's the first time they ever scored 3 goals in a Euro Cup. They look great. Listen, you see this means that I'm not an Italian fan. I like that team. I may not be a fan, but I like the team. Ty, what did that tweet say? Did you find it?
I did. He tweeted, shout out to all the Italian fans that can't name 3 players on their roster, but will paint their face and break out their Kappa kits today.
Break out the Kappa kits, boys. Anyways, as we get down into more of the games, I gotta say, Saturday morning, I think it was Saturday morning, Denmark, Finland. It was a good game. It started off well. What a turn of events. Christian Eriksen, boom, on the ground or on the floor. I walked away for a second. My wife's telling me, hey, they're doing total CPR on this guy. I'm like, what are you talking about? I come around. They're whipped out the defibrillator and started what? I'm like, what are they doing? Who is that? And then they're like, it's Christian Eriksen. What happened? So anyways, apparently he was out. He was gone for a few 3-4 minutes there. They resuscitated him. He came out with some comments today and thanking all the fans and you know, saying everything, you know, he's all good now. They don't know why it happened, but they did stop the game and canceled it. Then they turned around and started the game again after they realized
they suspended it.
Yeah. But it's unbelievable. I don't know. Was that the right call? I mean, I don't know.
It's tough to say when you're put in that situation, right?
Yeah, but it's a tough decision. I mean, sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I was watching it live too, but I wasn't really focused on the game. I didn't even know. I was like, you know, had the game on and I was like going through my phone or whatever. And then like my dad called me and he's like, hey, did you see what's going on in the game? I look up, I'm like, holy crap, what the hell? I think even like Chris tweeted something like, what's going on with this Christian Eriksen guy? I had to like Google who he was. I didn't even know what was going on. Right. And then, but I was watching on TSN and I just wanted to say that I think they did a really good job, like, you know, covering the whole, you know, situation that happened. And they broke into a panel, they started discussing it, and then they immediately switched over back to the first game of the day, and put that on for us to watch. And I just thought, like, you know, like, now the show goes on and you got to kind of improvise when these things that, you know, you're not anticipating happen. And they did a really, really good job with that, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it was handled well. It was handled a lot better than I would handle it. But since we're on the topic, let's continue on. So the reason I did my first shot tonight was one of the Sunday games. Finland actually came back and won that game. That was Finland's first first Euro tournament game ever, and they won and they beat Denmark, a rival of like there is no better that's like Calgary and Edmonton, you know. It's a really good rivalry. They beat them. What a game for them. Finland is on cloud 9. absolutely over the Warren Moon, those guys right now. I guarantee you for that.
But I mean,
win.
I don't think they would be that pumped up because of what happened, right? Dad,
Oh, they were
would you
pumped.
have gone out and played that game after that incident?
Well, what I was going to say was I personally think that the game should not have restarted. Given the circumstances, it being on live TV, everyone saw what happened. We have seen similar circumstances on hockey benches in the NHL where guys have collapsed. The game has been suspended. I mean, you're asking players to go out onto the ice or onto the court or in this circumstance onto the field, and you don't even know if your teammate has dropped dead on the way to in the ambulance. I think out of respect to the family, to the players, to the fans, I don't believe that the game should have been restarted. It's not like they couldn't have played it on a different day. This is, a whole month's event. But so given that circumstance, I don't believe that the game should have been restarted. But again,
I think like Christian Erickson said, he wanted them to go back out there and play.
Yeah. They
so
knew he was fine.
Yeah. So if he says
hospital.
that to the team, then the team's got to go out there and play. They can't just be like, oh no, I can't do it now. But yeah, I get both sides of it. I guess it's weird. My sister, I told her about what happened because she was out with her kids or whatever. She came by my house Saturday afternoon, and I told her what happened, and she's like, "Oh my god, that's so common these days. Like, is this a common thing in soccer? I'm not a huge soccer fan, so I don't know. But is this like a thing?"
Not that I know of.
No,
I don't think it's a thing. There has
thing.
been a lot more incidents like this. I've seen quite a few. I wouldn't say quite a few, but there's been notable ones in NCAA. It seems
and
like
hockey
in the last
too,
6
like
months.
Dan mentioned.
But even within the last 6 months to a year, there's been basketball games, college basketball games, college soccer games, this and that. But I don't think it's necessarily common, but super scary. And that was
for sure.
Crazy, scary scene to witness.
And they're even coming out even today. Some of the facts, like they were questioning, was it COVID related? Did he ever have COVID? What did he test positive for COVID? And even all the trainers and the doctors for the team have said he's never had COVID. He hasn't been vaccinated. I don't know if that has any, bearing or anything, but he has not had COVID or tested positive for COVID. So it wasn't related to COVID.
There you go. Okay. So moving on, Croatia loses to England. England comes out firing on all cylinders. They were really, really on fire for the first 20 minutes. Then they slowed down. Raheem Sterling scores a bullshit goal. It wasn't a nice goal, but whatever. It was a bullshit goal.
But it can be argued that game should have been a lot worse than it was.
And it could be argued.
That game. Yeah. I watched a game with you, and I was surprised how good England was.
No, I don't think so. If they were good, it would have been 4-5-0. Okay,
that was their first really win ever in the first game of the Euros.
Mm-hmm. And their first win against Croatia in the Euros.
I've actually been enjoying this Euro Cup, and I've been watching a lot of the games. And so, who sticks out for you guys right now? I'll give you my top pit teams that have been impressed me. One is Italy, England, and I would say Portugal today looked really well.
England impressive. We just finished talking about how stupid they looked. What are you talking about?
You started talking about that. I said that they look really good.
No, man, they're not going to make it past the They may make it through. They may make it through, but they're not doing any damage. Not from what I saw.
You're talking with your heart right now, Govik.
Oh, I'm talking. Listen. It's coming home. We're bringing it home. No, you're not. Guaranteed, you're not bringing it home. Guaranteed, you're.
This is how you get yourself into trouble with shots.
Group of death looks. I will fucking. What? Here, hold on. Look, I got a shot ready to go. Look.
What number are we at?
Oh fuck.
Ty, who's your big surprise or teams that are shocking you right now so far in the first few days?
I actually haven't got a chance to watch a ton of it. I've just watched a lot of highlights and some streams online, this and that, go by what you guys have said. But no, I would agree. I mean, the teams that are supposed to look good and that we expected to win their groups have, shown that and not disappointed. They've looked pretty good so far.
You see that Czech Republic game, the goal from midfield?
Yeah.
That was insane,
Yeah.
man.
I will say I agree with you, Ty. Like the teams that should be, coming out of the gates. Well, Croatia had a little stumble, but you know what? They played a good team, England. I think they'll come back. But two things I'll say: watch out for the Netherlands. They have always been a top team. They actually had some trouble in their first game.
Yeah, man.
They had some defending.
I can't believe it was
issues,
3-2. That was all the 5 goals scored in
man.
the last 20 minutes of the game. But having said that, watch the Netherlands and watch Belgium.
Belgium. I gotta say, Lukaku.
Not of the big, 5, 6, 7 main teams.
Yeah, but Belgium is one of the main teams.
Yeah,
they've fallen in on the world stage before. World Cup, they don't even get out of the qualifying.
Well, they finished just behind Croatia in the World Cup, so that obviously. But they are a fantastic team. They've got some really good players. Lukaku is like on top of his game. Actually, when he scored his goal, he came to the camera and said, "This is for you," like for Christian Eriksen. He's like, "I love you, man."
Yeah, I saw that.
He ran off. But
Chris, can I ask you a real quick question? Just before you go on there. So
Yeah.
is it that England looked really good, or did Croatia lose a step to me?
I don't think England looked good at all. They had to have scored. You need to score to look good. They didn't look good.
They dominated that game, man.
They didn't dominate the game. They dominated the first 15 minutes. That's all they dominated. The rest of the game was 50-50. Croatia had a lot of 2-3 chance, not a lot. They had 2-3 chances. If they buried those, the game would have been over, man. That was not a dominating game. Not like the way, and here's something that I'll tell you guys. I watched, don't tell anybody, but I watched the whole Germany France game today. Germany dominated that game and scored an own goal, and that was it. That was the only goal. That was a game-winning goal. Germany dominated that game. England did not dominate the Croatian game. Did not. And you know what? I think they're going to get exposed for what they really are. A bunch of fucking bitches. And you know what? Another thing, they shouldn't have started Raheem Sterling. He's not. I don't know. I don't know why Walker's playing. Like these guys are all. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
one thing that's actually different Govik this year, maybe you can check it for next week, but I heard that I don't know if it's uneven groups. Normally the top 2 teams move on, but I heard that there's going to be certain groups that 3 teams move on.
Yes, there's the 4 wild card teams apparently.
Oh, the wild card. Okay, yeah. So basically, the group of death. I mean, where Germany, France, and Portugal, like all 3 teams could get out of the group.
Good. Yes.
Okay.
It's
There's Ronaldo though. Hey, Jesus, that guy.
He broke the record. Okay.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned Ronaldo, I'm going to mention GOAT of our generation. And the reason I say that is because of a stat that he broke today as the all-time leading scorer in the Euro Cup. All-time leading scorer. Think about that for a second. All-time leading scorer in the Euro Cup. The guy's 34.
It's just the Euro Cup. Messi doesn't play in the Euro Cup.
He's 36.
He's 36.
So, come on, man.
Yeah, but look at their all-time goals. Messi and Ronaldo, they're the same. But Messi,
he hasn't played in the Euro Cup.
Look at their all-time assists.
Look at their all-time goals.
Argentina.
Look at their all-time assists.
And what does that fucking matter? Argentina can't win anything with Messi. They can't win anything. They can't even make it out of the group with Messi. What are you talking about?
You're throwing out a stat out there that you're saying he's the greatest.
We could throw a whole bunch of stats back at you the other way. Supporting.
Go ahead, throw it back at me. Support him. Support Messi. Tell me what major championship he won other than the club team stuff. Tell me what he did with Argentina.
Doesn't matter because soccer's not an individual sport.
With
it's a major team sport.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does matter.
No, he's the whole team in Argentina. Portugal has some other keys to the puzzle there.
Argentina's like the Dutch. They have so many good players. They just can't play together. There's too many egos.
Maybe that's the problem too. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you can't clearly say that Ronaldo is that much better than Messi. That just doesn't work.
I'm going to say he's got more hardware.
He's got a Euro Cup that Messi can't play in.
He's got most every. Do you know that he's got probably every single league that he's been in? He's been in the Spanish league, the Premier League,
The Italian League.
The Italian League. He's won every single league championship that you can win.
Come over to the Super League, the MLS,
Oh,
baby.
yeah, he would wipe the shit with MLS, and I guarantee you, once he's done, rumors are he wants to go back to Man United and sign like maybe a 2-year deal and retire there, and then he's coming to Miami, and watch and see what happens. Take that to the bank.
We shall see what we're going to take to the bank and what we're not going to take to the bank. That's it. Tomorrow Italy plays again. We're going to start the week all over again. Friday, big game, Croatia against Czech, right here, Croatia against Czech Republic. Hopefully they dominate that game and beat the shit out of them.
The Czech look really good too.
Well, they were
Croatia's
playing
got a rough
Scotland.
start, eh?
So, Ty, how many shots do I have left to do?
I think you have 2 left.
2, huh?
Is that right?
Yeah, you've done 3 total, 1 for Croatia and 2 for the hockey. So you still got two more.
Okay, so since we're getting into the NHL, and these guys bet for the.
You're drinking shots like we're in Vegas, baby.
Yeah, we're drinking shots like we're in Vegas, baby. I like your do, buddy. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let me do this this next one here, and then we can get it. Well, why don't I do the shot, and once I do that, you can start talking about Tampa and the Islanders. Let's start with that series first.
Dan, what do you think about the Lightning so far here in the?
I think to be completely honest, they've cruised so far in the playoffs, and Islanders are no joke. I mean, they had a hell of a series last year. They went into semifinals of the conference last year. Obviously, Tampa came out on top, but this is not going to be. I'm predicting it's going 6 or 7. I think Tampa is going to win. I think they've just, Islanders are good, but Tampa is just unreal. Getting players back, particularly Kucherov, like what a player to get back, missing out the whole season and playing the way he is in the playoffs. Woo! But you know what? It's going to be an awesome series. But my pick in a few of our pools that we've done together. I know Mike and Ty, you're pretty much out of it, but I picked Tampa as back-to-back, run it back, champs again. But
have you ever picked a winner?
This is going to be the first time, Ty. This is going to be the first time.
Just checking.
I'm very excited. I know you always say, don't count your chickens, blah, 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 whatever.
Well,
Tampa
Vegas
all the way.
is winning the cup.
I think that's going to be the final. It's going to be
dispose of the Les Habitants.
Vegas, Tampa, and hey, buddy, you know what? Let's get our second vaccination and we can go down to Vegas.
How does that saying go? Don't count your what? Your chickens?
Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
Oh, you got it.
Hey, you got it.
Hey, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
but
head before the chicken runs off, or what did I say last time?
How about that arena down in Vegas?
Oh, that's
what
insane.
an atmosphere!
That place looks bumping, man. Do they have bottle service there? You think
they do?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can have like booths, like it's a club in the stadium. And you know what? I just heard actually for the next game is still one more game in Vegas, and then at the Bell Center they're allowing I think 3,500 fans. They better be pumping cheers into the crowd through the speakers, because I don't know how they're going to compare.
I will give them some credit though. They are pretty loud for that limited amount of fans at the Bell Center. Yeah. It's actually impressive.
Oh, I forgot to mention in our soccer segment. Did you guys see the Hungarian crowd today? That was unreal. Speaking of crowds, it was packed. They were jumping up and down. It was against Portugal. It was crazy. It reminded me of the Vegas arena there. So
yeah. The Vegas crowd. I mean, Ty, we were there. I think it was one of our last trips before the whole pandemic shut down the world. But we went to Vegas for you and Gladys's 5-year anniversary, and we went to a game. It was insane. That was just a regular season game. It wasn't even like last game of the season. I think it was actually pretty close to the end of the regular season. But, oh, man, to go for a playoff game and just seeing what the crowd is like, it's crazy.
All right,
no, it was unreal.
Can I interrupt for a second? I think it's time for our second beer. I think we should before we get into the other stuff. I think it's time for beer number 2. Beer number 2, and beer number 2 is the Copper Brewing Black Currant Sour. So, can we crack it now, or is everybody ready?
Ready.
I think Mike
Been born ready.
I think Mike may have already opened his, but
I did open mine.
all right. So what does this?
It's like a purpley beer.
Is it purple?
It's pretty sour,
All right, let's try this.
but tasty.
That is Dan's second beer too.
Dan's gonna love you, man. You're gonna have to do Dan's beer shopping for him.
Holy moly!
So, Mike, what do you think of the Vegas Montreal series early on here?
Yeah, I think it's great. It's great playoff hockey. It's I like you guys have been saying here. I do think that the deciding factor, the one thing that Vegas does have over Montreal is that crowd, and that crowd. I mean, I feel that when we go to big games and we're rocking down in Seattle for the Seahawks games, and even in hockey stadiums. I think if you get your crowd behind you, you play better, and it does something to the other team. I think that crowd's going to be the deciding factor in that series, and I hope that in the other series there, Barzal's just been playing amazing hockey. I think he was the reason why they won the first game, and I think that crowd that they have over there in New York, the Islanders. I think that's going to be the deciding factor in that game. So imagine those two teams going at it, Vegas and New York in the Stanley Cup Finals would just be amazing.
But it's going to be Montreal and New York. So
don't bet that. Don't guarantee.
Well, I hope it's
Montreal.
I hope it's Montreal, but I don't. Yeah, I made my picks.
Well, I mean, I picked
every team, right, except for Tampa. Tampa's going to win the cup.
The Islanders. I mean, the game just finished before we got on here, and Tampa was smashing them.
Yeah, they even the series up. They won.
Even the series, they won 4-2. They got a garbage goal towards the end of the game, the Islanders, but they were on their asses.
Listen, let's see what they do, though. Like Mike said,
and now they're going back to Tampa. They're
going to the island. Those first two games were in Tampa.
Oh.
So the Islanders now have home ice advantage. Okay. So we'll see what they do.
So that's a fucking pretty rough New York crowd, Dan. I'd be scared if I was you. Okay.
Yeah.
You better be careful with your pick because you may not have picked the winning team, my friend.
Oh boy. I'm not gonna guarantee and bring the black cloud curse onto those poor guys. But
it's not you. It's sorry. It's not your words. It's your picks or the black cloud. Okay.
But one thing about the Canadians is those fans and most of Canada did not cheer for us when we were on our cup run in 2011. Do you guys remember that?
Yes, I went.
That is why I am not cheering for Montreal. Fuck them.
Well, no, it wasn't Montreal so much as it was the people in Toronto and the people in Alberta. I walked into a Boston Pizza during 2011. I was in Edmonton for one of the games that was on. I walk in with my jersey on. I got booed at the door. I got fucking booed at the door. Boston?
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Finals.
So during our cup run, for the first round of our cup run in 2011, I went to the Dominican Republic. So there's no direct flights from Vancouver. So our layover was in Montreal. I naturally wore some Canuck gear, and getting on the plane in Montreal to fly to the Dominican, I got booed as well. And I remember that. And that's why fuck the Canadians, and I'm not cheering for them.
Well, you know what? They can, I don't even want to get into Quebec. I do like Carey Price.
Do you guys know what happened 10 years ago today?
Yeah, there was a riot.
Game 7.
The riots downtown. You started them, Mike. Weren't you at the game?
There was a riot on the streets. Tell me, where were you?
I was at the
Not
game.
only we lost the game because you were there, but there was, oh my God, the whole city nearly burnt down.
It was a wild time. Yeah, I remember leaving the stadium. It was still daylight, and we walked because I lived down on Beach Ave at the time. and we walked home from the stadium, and you could see smoke coming up from in the downtown area, and helicopters all around, like sort of like, what the hell's going on? And I think I called one of you guys or whatever, like, yeah, they're riding, watching it on TV. I'm like, shit. So we went home and we just sat on my balcony and just sort of like watched the chaos unfold. It's crazy.
Your brother downtown, he had his the air intake was open in the building or whatever, and the tear gas went into the building. You remember that? He couldn't breathe.
No way, really? I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah.
I must have forgot that.
Yeah, talk to him about that.
Crazy.
Yeah, I forgot that too.
Wow.
Anyways, okay, so we're done talking hockey, and whoa, I almost spilt it. But I'll do my last shot here, so everybody could see.
Cheers, buddy.
Oh, okay, here we go.
So do you want to bet a couple more shots there, Chris, on your Canadians? I'll give you 3-1 odds on the series.
Oh my god, that beer's so sour.
I'll take Vegas. We'll make your shots a weekly thing on here.
No, I don't want to talk about shots right now. Okay.
But yeah, it's a good time of year with the Euro. You got the NHL playoffs. You got the NBA playoffs. I mean, I'm loving the sports. I got lots of golf and
golf major coming out.
We got a big
major week coming up,
baby. Yeah. Major week, yeah, for sure.
Which brings us into our next piece, which is the major week. Yes, it's major time. Torrey Pines.
Yeah,
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be pretty good. Mike, who do
Torrey
you got?
Pines. Torrey Pines is one of my favorite courses. We played Torrey Pines once in my life, a few years back on my brother's stag. It's a gorgeous spot, and it's a tough course. We played the whites, and I thought it was super long. Like your driver, your driver, and then 3-wood out, whatever. But Torrey Pines also the historic Tiger's second to last major win in the US Open as well. I believe it was 2008. I think 2008, 2009, 2008. Yeah,
2008.
Yeah, and it was he won that playoff. Had to sink the big putt on 18 there to force the playoff, and he won it. But yeah, man, I'm really excited for this week, and I got a couple pools going on here. I don't know, Ty. I know there's a lot of stories going on in golf right now with the DeChambeau, the Koepka, Crapola going on. No Ricky Fowler. And I'm watching Golf Channel. And the biggest story that they keep talking about is Mickelson. This is the one tournament that he hasn't, the one major that he hasn't won. And the one that he wants the most. He's from San Diego, and
he is not far from there. He's played that course many a times.
I heard that they did some renos on it. Like after he's won there a few times too, and then they did some renos, and he hasn't won since they've done these renos or whatever.
Yeah, no, for sure. And when he won it, so the Farmers tournament there, which is usually late January, they played both courses there. I don't know if you remember that. So this Open is all Torrey Pines South.
Yeah.
So it's the same course for 4 days. But there's a ton of storylines going into this. I was really hoping, we talked about this last week, that the USGA would pair Bryson and Brooks together. We saw today that did not happen. And there's a report out there that the USGA apparently approached Bryson about that idea. And he shot them down and said he wasn't interested in playing with Brooks, which, like, why you give the guy an option, man? The ratings for those, like, you need the rate. Like, golf needs the ratings. They don't have Tiger.
Even better though,
Fowler.
if say they both are head to head going into a Sunday,
amazing.
With the major on the line.
That still can happen.
That can happen. He can't say no to that. Well, if he did, he would just probably forfeit.
But yeah, the tournament favorite is also a storyline. It's John Rahm. I think he's about 10 or 11 to 1. Obviously, we talked about the whole COVID issues before or at the end of the third round of the Memorial Tournament, and he cleared his protocols. He's healthy. His family's healthy, which is all good news to hear, and he's ready to go. He's played well historically at Torrey Pines. He won there a few years ago, and he is the odds-on favorite to win it, followed just behind by Brooks and Bryson at about 16-1. And then, like you said, the storyline that everybody wants to see is Phil Mickelson. He needs this to complete the career Grand Slam. I don't think he's going to be contending, but I did not think he'd win the PGA Championship either last month. So crazier things have happened. But it's interesting because you think about it, a month and a half ago, he needed a special exemption even to play in this tournament the way he was playing. And obviously winning the PGA Championship, all that went out the window, and he's set on tour for a long time. But do you think Mickelson has any chance this weekend?
I don't. I just think the course is too long for him, man. You got these big hitters. Like, I think the course, the way it is, I think it favors like the Rory McIlroys, the Dustin Johnsons, the John Rahms, like the guys that can bomb it. DeChambeau, yeah, these guys.
Even Brooksy.
Yeah, those young guys that with those, yeah, they can just crush the ball. If they're on, I think they got a better chance than Phil. But
I agree with you.
You can
about
never
the
count
chance,
Phil
but
out.
I mean,
we should have counted him on the PGA.
You look at that final round, the PGA Championship at Kiowa Island there. Him and Brooks, I watched that entire final round. He was hitting it past Brooks on several occasions. Like, it's not like he was way behind him. The one issue I think Phil will have is he's wild off the tee. He takes interesting routes to the green. Let's put it that way. And that's why he's so good with his short game, because he's always trying to get himself out of trouble, punching out of the trees, doing things like that. But I think he'll have an issue with the rough, because that I've seen some videos online. I don't know if you guys have seen it.
I
where
saw
they
some of them. Yeah.
drop the ball and that ball disappears.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
and we're not even talking about like fairway rough. We're talking about like on the just off the green rough. So I can just imagine what the fairway is like.
Oh yeah,
I don't remember that when I played there. It must
rough.
be something they do for the professionals.
No,
right?
yeah, they grow this out. They've been prepping it for weeks. It doesn't happen overnight. They narrow the fairways. They let the rough grow out and all that stuff. But I think it's going to be a fun tournament. I did place a small wager on Mickelson. Like I put $5 on him at 66-1, pays like $300 if he wins. I mean,
Nice.
I think it'd be awesome. I think it'd be awesome just as a storyline. I'd love to see Phil get the career Grand Slam. I think he deserves it. I think he's amazing for the game of golf. And he's really changed his persona and how he acts. Like, you see him on Twitter all the time now.
Oh yeah.
He's hilarious.
He's
Joking
literally like Lou Strombo one. He's making all these one-liners on Twitter. It's awesome.
It's Strombone.
Yeah, he's kind of like what?
Poor Lou.
Yeah. No, totally. He reminds me of Strombone.
I heard at the major dinner, how only that one dinner they have, the major winner from last year hosted.
Well, they have the US, the Open dinner, kind of US Open champions.
Oh, well, anyways, at the major one, everyone wants to sit beside Phil Mickelson because he's the most lively of everyone else that's in that place. Like all the young guys, like Spieth and them.
I believe it.
Sit beside Mickelson.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
so is Rom? Sorry, Ty. Is Rom like? I know he's under quarantine or whatever COVID protocol. So he's
cleared. Yeah.
So he's able to start practicing. Like he'll have like a couple of days before. Well, Thursday it starts. So.
I think he was cleared yesterday. I think.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Earlier than they expected, I guess. A couple negative tests in a row, and he's good to go. But while we're on the topic, I think it's time to make our picks.
That's why I wanted some clarity on. Not to give away anything.
Who's favored?
Rombo.
Sean Rahm.
We all know you like to pick first and have the favorites, Chris. So do you just want to go ahead and take John Rahm?
I'll take who's ever for the favorite.
John Rahm it is.
All right.
Go ahead, Mike.
Who am I going to take? Wow, this is a tough one. Jesus, who's going to win the U.S. Open? Well, it's going to have to be Dustin Johnson.
Oh, you stole it from me. I had my.
Can we take like 5 picks each?
We don't have enough time for all that.
Yeah, okay.
We'll do whoever finishes the best. I thought you were gonna ask me next, Dan, as you were just
No, you're the pro of the golf tie. You win enough, you can let us have all the picks, and you get whatever's left. So,
okay, thanks.
I think I'm gonna go with Brooksy. Cup. I think he's a little bit ticked off from the PGA Championship, losing to Phil the Thrill Grandpa. I think he's gonna win it. So I take Brooks.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go with just because you took Brooks and he's usually my guy, especially in majors. He plays so well. I'm gonna take Bryson.
Oh, the defending champ.
Boy. Yeah, that's a good pick, actually.
Yeah, right on.
Okay.
Looking forward to this weekend of golf. Gonna be a good one. Dan and I are actually gonna get out there Saturday morning for a round.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna try not to break any more clubs. He's had that issue the last few rounds.
Guys, it's Father's Day weekend.
Yeah, that's why I love this tournament, because Sunday is always on Father's Day, and that's when the winner of this tournament gets crowned.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I can't wait.
And boom, my hat's back on. All right. That was it. That is it for episode 19. It was a good episode. We talked a lot. If you guys want to follow us, our website is www.westcoastsportsjunkies.ca. All of our content is there. Lots of photos, lots of things to look at there. We sorry, I had 5 shots. Great show. We look forward to analyzing some more sports next week, and we can't wait to see England lose. That's the consensus in the room here. So England sucks, and we're gonna cheer for anybody else. And yeah, what do you have to say about that, Ty?
Yeah, another fun show. I'm glad that all of our Euro teams got a win this first week of the tournament. It was a lot of fun. Oh, except for the funny hat guy, but your win's coming. Fun episode. We'll continue watching the Euro, and I can't wait for the US Open this weekend.
Absolutely, guys. Good seeing you as always. Love having a couple beers with you boys and talking some sports. It's a big week coming up. Major week in golf. I'm pumped for that. The Euro has been awesome. Looking forward to that. And playoff hockey is a great time of year to be a sports fan. And I cannot wait to talk to you guys next week. This is Big Mike. Peace.
Awesome, guys. Yeah, for sure. It was a great night. This is a very exciting time of the year. So many sports, playoff sports, world events, World Cup. If any tennis fans are out there, Wimbledon is starting. But dirty time. We had a little bit of a break this week, but you know what? We're going to be coming back even more dirty next week.
Dirty time. We'll be back next week with dirtier talk. One final thing before we go. We, since we're recording today, just learned of this breaking news. Canada just beat Haiti. What was the score, Ty?
3-0.
4-0 on aggregate.
4-0 on aggregate. Okay, 4-0 on aggregate. Wow, we are in, man.
Goodbye.